Okay, everyone. So thank you very much for watching or listening today. Liam Hartley here with another episode of Presenting Champions. Today is episode 223, I believe. Today I'm joined by a very special fighter today, Andrew Anthony, bare knuckle boxing legend. Obviously, back to the Bone World Champion, Spartan, bad motherfucker. Won multiple other titles as well, as you can see behind him. I'll get him to show those in just a moment. But before I do, today we're going to be walking through Andrew's career so far in terms of like the fights he's had in the pit, in the ring, elsewhere. This man's absolute beast of bare knuckle boxing, pretty much decapitates people with his punches. And he's got some big fights coming up as well. I need to mention that. So we've got a lot to talk about. And Champ, thank you for coming on the show, my man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, man, it's well overdue, mate. Well overdue. Pleasure, mate. Pleasure. You're top man. Top man.
Absolutely, yeah, top man as well. So, like I was saying to you just now, I'm going to actually start by getting you to show some of the belts and show off a little bit of what you've got there in your shrine.
All right. Yeah, it's a little place. I had to stick them somewhere, man. I had to get them somewhere. I've got a few here. I've got let's have a look. Yeah, man. That's your bad to bone, BMF. Some of the other belts there that I've acquired along the way. And just a lot of the amateur stuff as well, from when I used to box ABAs, Yorkshire champion stuff there. Yeah, man. So keep it busy. Just keep a little boxing shrine there.
Absolutely amazing. Well, there's some amazing achievements there. And like I was saying at the beginning, I'm probably glad, we got to see them physically and everything. Let's start at the beginning with, well, it's not really the beginning, but let's start with the present day and talk about like a couple of the upcoming fights that you've got and everything. And then what we can do is then we can go back in time from there and walk back through your journey. But you're hard in training at the moment. Share with us a little bit about like what's coming up and what's on the horizon right now for 2023, please.
Well, yeah, it's been a quick start to this year. I'm out twice now, in February and March. I'm fighting Bubu Suik from Poland. He's coming over to, I'm going to defend the Bad to the Bone super heavyweight belt against him. That's on Stefan Anx's show. That's the 18th of February. And then after that, on the 18th of March, I'll be fighting a guy called Lee. I can't remember his second name now. Not as irrelevant, but it's just I can't remember his name. But I'm fighting him on the 18th of March. So he's a pretty big guy. I've not really heard that much about him. Obviously, this Bubba guy, I was meant to fight him before the fight with Donald Wanch. I don't know what happened there. I think something happened with Mark Godber. Couldn't fight on the show. So I ended up fighting Wanch instead. So it swings around. It's all come about now. So those two fights are going to go off. Like I said, I've been deep into my camp for these. I've been training hard. So we get these out of the way and then see what else year brings, mate.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a big year and the future is very bright. Can you give us a prediction for either of those fights that is coming up now?
I like stoppages, man. I like stoppages. Just get in there and get the job done, really. And I think with this one with the Polish fella, I think I'm going to try and get out and just show a bit more of my boxing ability off, my boxing skills. Because like I got drawn into a bit of a war with Donald Wanch, which, like I say, turned out a good stoppage. Obviously, he couldn't carry on. Hematoma on his head and bad cut. But it were really one-sided fight, going one way. I expected with size of him that he'd carry a lot more power than he actually did. There wasn't really anything that sort of set my mind at ease. After he landed a couple of shots, I was like, no, just, nothing really to worry about. But it's in this game, mate, it's one shot can change anything when it comes to our weight, so be careful.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, let's talk about that fight a little bit more. Obviously, as you say, you didn't really carry that much power and everything, but talk to us a little bit about like obviously getting the win and when it's announced. Obviously, watching the fight is one thing, but being in there as the winner is another thing. and they're saying, you're the new world champion and everything. What goes through your head in a moment like that,
Oh, mate, it were brilliant. Obviously, I had my two girls there as well, which like makes, do you know what I mean? Just made it even better, man. Obviously, my wife and like two girls were there. They were just over the moon. But yeah, it was a bit surreal. But like I say, I think way we're going with Court, I was sort of wavering, and then I could see hematoma on his head. So it was like I knew that he couldn't really carry on with that. Like if that would have opened up, man, it would have been bad. So, and like I say, it was only going one way. I think a few more shots into the second round, and I think I would have stopped him anyway. So it was like I think the last shot I threw before the round finished, he's like his legs, he were Bambi on his legs, man. So yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, it would have ended, but yeah, when I am in there, I try if I can just get in there, do the job, and just get them out there. No one likes getting punched in the face, man.
Absolutely, man, 100%, 110%. So that was obviously the win, and then immediately after that, in terms of like what happened after the fight, there's a few different things here because obviously I'm curious about like what you did to celebrate or anything, the reaction from people, in the community and from your family and that type of thing. So there's like a couple of different things here, but also there was a bit of back and forth with him, wasn't there? I saw some stuff on social media after the fight that he was saying.
Oh man, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It was really way he went about it were bad. To be fair, if I were to lose a fight to anyone, yeah, you take your hat off to them. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got balls, man. To be getting in there and fighting bare knuckle, yeah, it ain't no game. Do you know what I mean? We're all rough guys who get in there, and we all have a good tear up. But after that, to lose a fight and then come back, like he seriously believed he was telling her, "Oh no, we're winning that fight." No, I don't know. It's just like you watch a lot of fighting yourself. Everybody who saw that fight could see where that fight was going. It would win one way, and that were it. So it's
Yeah.
just I don't know. I don't agree with stuff like that. Not got a lot of bad words to say about him. A rematch, a rematch got offered for 10,000 in the A bales, which he jumped on straight away. He's like, yeah, and then that got I think Christian were sorting like a contract to fight. And then all of a sudden he was, no, I didn't want to fight. So that just said it all, So, and the first thing on my mind is if I were to lose, you'd want to, and it were through a mistake that you'd made or you thought you could do better, then you'd want to get back in there and do a better job, So it's just one of them things. It's just didn't like to be big. Like I say, he's a big fella, but not much about him, to be fair. Not as strong as he looks.
No, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, like I say, I got respect for him as a fighter as well and everything. So there's nothing against him. But yeah, the fight was only going one way. So absolutely bang on with that. And we'll see what happens there. The celebration side of things as well. Obviously, after winning the world title, I mean, what was the reaction like from everybody? And also, what were you doing like in the days after the fight, if you don't mind me asking, to celebrate and to sort of soak up the win?
Uh, Days to recover.
Yeah.
After that, I think I drank a liter of whiskey after. I think there were some pictures online where it's like I was brandishing a belt and a bottle of Jack Daniels. So yeah, we all celebrated like we had a really good do after. To be fair, yeah, we were good. Like I say, all lads were there. My wife were there. My girls we come back here. Yeah, really good night. Like I say, that obviously I've got a team down there who I train with. So yeah, everyone was just really hyped, after that. So yeah, we were brilliant, mate. Brilliant. It's a real feeling, you know what I mean? Really good.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm just sort of honing in on that 'cause it's such an amazing achievement and it's incredible. We'll look back at some of your other fights now, but you touched on the training a little bit as well. Share with us a little bit about like training in terms of your schedule and training like around work and everything else you're doing because that takes a lot of dedication, man. I got a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, well, see, thing is, I work away Monday to Friday. I'm a pilot driller. So what it is I work away Monday to Friday. I come back weekends. Monday to Friday, I go to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, go to work. But as soon as I finish work, straight to gym, straight out of gym, have my food, have a shower, straight to bed, repeat all week, come back down here, weekend comes, I don't stop. bags, pads, circuits, sparring. You know what I mean? All weekend. That's with lads who I've got down here on team. So mate, it's like that's I never come up short. I put work in, man. That's it. You know, if you want to be at the top of this game, you got to work, man. Do you know what I mean? So that's the main thing. You drag yourself to the gym when you don't want to train. Do you know what I mean? I miss my kids. Do you know what I mean? But still, it needs to be done. So
Yeah, well, like I was saying, massive respect for that because I know, like even when I'm doing like some of the media stuff and things like that, and I'm like in camps with people doing the promos and everything. You see the work that goes into it, and man, like fitting that around like day jobs and families and everything as well. Massive respect to that, but obviously it shows in your performances. I mean, the amount of work you're putting in, your fists through the talking, but it speaks for itself if you get what I mean. So, 100%. Now we were talking earlier about like showing the belts and about boxing and about bare knuckle boxing and everything. So, all in all, do you know how many fights you've actually had in like your lifetime?
through through from my amateur boxing days, I think I were in the 50s, 50, 60 amateur fights. Obviously, I represented Box for GB, to England, Russia, England, Ireland. Like I say, I'm ABAs through near enough like like your Yorkshires and stuff every year. I win in them every year through. So I had a really good amateur thing. Was my amateur boxing started a bit later on. Like I wasn't really young enough to carry that on, and I could have never ever have boxed as a journeyman. Like you go out there, like I've got power, I carry power in both my hands. You go out as a journeyman and start knocking guys out, you're not getting a fight anyway. So it was like, and then it was like my love for boxing like sort of went. And I think one of the lads just said to me, like, "Oh, I'm fighting this bare knuckle. So why don't you come down and have a watch?" And I thought, "Oh, I'll go and have a look." I thought, got there and I thought, definitely a bit of me. Do you know what I mean? So it says that I prefer the bails. It's close, it's up and personal, man. Do you know what I mean? There's nowhere to run in there. You just put your gum shield in, man, and you bite down, and you go to war. Straight up war in the May bales, man. Thing is, I love it. Do you know what I mean? I absolutely love it, man. That's me all over. So, yeah, the bales, I prevail at the bales. The bales belong to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself again, like with your record in there and stuff. But yeah, you seem at home in there, 110%, man. It's incredible. So that's how you first got into it. And then how many fights? Because I think like with like the Wales and stuff, you've got a good number in there as well, isn't it? I mean,
Well, not really, mate. No. See, this is the problem. With my weight where I've come up to super heavy now. You don't believe. I fought Jamie Hendry
yeah,
in the Bales. I
yeah,
fought once in the ring, bare knuckle. It's like I've meant to have had, I can at least say over 25, 30 fights. About every single one of them pull out. Do you know what I mean? We have
wow,
man pulling out left, right, and centre. Just, you know what I mean? It's so like that. Just I was floating about. I think at one point I was just like 14 and a half stone, up to 15, and then like through no fault of his own, Christian. Do you know what I mean? Me and Christian are really good friends. Top man. Do you know what I mean? You all meet a nicer guy than Christian Roberts. He was like doing everything he could to get me fights, but the thing is, you can't make these guys fight. Do you know what I mean? They're all up for it until, especially in A bales, you get a lot of it until it comes to crunch, maybe even the week before, 2 weeks before, and then they're like, our starts twitching, and they're like, no, this really isn't for me. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I get you. That makes sense as why I thought you had more because obviously I've seen it, some of
Right.
the ones you
Yeah,
were.
so many fights that I've had up there that have been promoted for me to have these fights. So that's why we've come up to like obviously where I'm at now. And not saying that I'm struggling. There's still guys out there who are game, but there's a lot of guys as well who just don't seem interested. So it is what it is, mate. You can only fight who's put in front of you. That's it.
Well, that's it at the end of the day. Yeah, I know. And yeah, everything you're saying about Christian as well. I mean, he does his thing getting people fights. So how have you sort of kept pushing then? I mean, because obviously you know what it's like. You're on the build up to a fight or whatever. You're getting ready, but you're pumped for it. Then a guy doesn't turn up, or he pulls out like a few weeks before or whatever it is. How do you keep going like through some of the disappointments and stuff with that type of thing?
it got to a point where the one bit I was going to knock it all on head. To be fair, I just had enough. I
Yeah.
just like I'm done with it. Uh, and obviously Christian were like, "Don't worry, we'll sort it out." It got down to a point that I put one of my training videos on Facebook. I was just doing a bag workout, and I was like just coming up to a week of me fighting. And the kid who I was fighting saw a bag. He's like, as soon as he saw it workout, he's like, "Oh, I rang Christian." He's like, "I'm just sitting in my bag." He's like, "I'm not fighting him." It's like, "Nah, do you know what I mean?" That's that's like stuff that shouldn't be done in this game. If you're in this game, you're in it. You should stick to it, man. Do you know what I mean? Or just don't sign up. You know, there's too many guys who just want to be. Oh, I want to be a bare knuckle fighter. And when it comes down to it, really, if you haven't got it, you haven't. So
That's it. That's it. I mean, man, that's really something. I know you got a few fights for on tour, so I didn't know it was as many as that. But you know, you turned a negative into a positive because you kept going, and obviously look where you're at now. You know, world title and everything. So, you know, it's some good things are coming out of it. Also, I got to get the story from you as well about the BMF belt. Also, you know, I mean, there's got to be a great story behind that. This isn't super specific, but just anything you'd like to share about the fight, what the fight was like, how it felt to win, just to fight in your own words, basically, mate. That'd be awesome.
yeah, well, the BMF belt, it was a funny sort of day actually. To be fair, the guy who I was meant to fight, he'd pulled out. And obviously, Jamie Hendry's guy, which I know Jamie Hendry is like local to me. He's from around here. I've known him for a few years. Good kid, like I say, he's got balls of steel. Do you know what I mean? We want he's maintained we're like miles out of weight difference. But the thing is, the BMF belt, there's no weight category. That's why it's a bad motherfucker belt. Do you know what I mean? You got likes like your lightweight guys get me in heavyweight. You know, that's as crazy as it is, man. That's what the belt is. You know what I mean? You're just a bad motherfucker who don't care, you know. So we turned up on day, my guy pulled out, his guy pulled out, and they just got thrown out there. We're like, well, look, we're both terms like, do you want to fight? We'll just have a do. It like didn't last long, did it really? I think it lasted like 17 seconds, something like that. But it is what it is. It's same with Jamie. Not taking that away from him. I think you see in that fight, he captured me like on chin with like three clean shots, which it's all right being able to give a shot in this game. You've got to be able to take a shot as well. Otherwise, you're screwed. So yeah, they're not really anything that bothered me there. Ate me a few shots and he was just gone. So that was that. But that was another good belt, and it's like that's sort of been my thing now. It's just that I'm like the number one BMF. It's like I'd rather have the BMF belt, you know, than the world title. But it's weird, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
get where
all.
you're coming from. I get where you're coming from with that because I mean, it's a cool belt to have, man. Like you say, you know, with the no weight categories and stuff. I mean, it speaks for itself with like, well, everything it says on the front of it, you know, by motherfucker. I mean, that's what you're known for, and very, very cool belt to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. So another thing, then, obviously, with your power, I mean, it sounds like that's something you've always had from your amateur days and everything. Is it just something that comes naturally to you? Like you don't have to build up the power in training much, if you get what I
No,
mean?
no, yeah, I've naturally like carried both my hands. Even when I boxed amateur, it was like with head guards, and then like we turned senior, it was like I'm knocking guys out with head guards on, and then like we turned into like when it went up to seniors and they changed everything, head guards got removed, then it's like the kids going to sleep for fun. I had loads of stoppages in my amateurs. Uh, I can just bang, man. Do you know what I mean? That's it. I can bang, and I can take a good shot as well. So that's where I'm a problem. You see, it's like I said before. It's all right being able to give a bang, but if you can't take a bang in this game, you're screwed. You know. So I've
Yeah,
got both areas covered, man. If someone's going to beat me, they're going to have to straight level me out. Straight level me out, like put me to sleep. Otherwise, I'm getting up, man. I'm putting you out. You know. So that's it. So
100%. But I mean, that's a big part of what makes you so exciting. And don't get me wrong, like I know you've got some of the technical side of it as well, but you know, the power of what shows, especially in the pit and everything like that, 100%. So, oh man, fair play, that's awesome. Also, you know, on the build up to a big fight and everything like that, I also want to get into like what's going through your head type of thing? Because obviously we've talked about the physical training, but like what's going through your head, people don't see that from the outside, like you see that type of thing. So with the fight, do you sort of visualize it, run it through in your head type of thing? Do you just put it out of your head and just focus on training? Like what's your sort of process for that?
No, thing is, my main thing is with fights, you can't really think too much into them, you know, about all this going because you can never play it out that way. It goes on what happens on the night. You just got to make sure that your head's in the right place, you know. So it's like you get a good team around you, good people. You just have good people, like obviously, and you work people who you work well with. Obviously, I stick to the same team. And like I say, everybody who I work with is like all top lads. Do you know what I mean? It's, just put yourself in a good place. Don't worry about like. There's a lot. Thing is, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of guys in this game, we're all really close. A lot of us, we're like friends, man. Do you know what I mean? We've got a lot of respect for each other. That there's probably only one person in bare knuckle who I ain't got any respect for at all. Do you know what I mean? Which I ain't going to mention him on this. He's not even worth speaking about on this interview here. Do you know what I mean? but we've all got like a lot of respect for each other, and like people don't see that, you know. So we get in there, and after that, you're shaking hands, man. You try and stick each other's chins off. Do you know what I mean? After that, you shake hands. You go back to buy see lads having a pint. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just yeah, different to what people think.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, spot on there. That's one of the beautiful things about the sport, you know. I mean, it's a level of respect. As you say, like people having pints together, people, hanging out, people, fighting. And so sometimes they're friends before, sometimes they become friends after, like whatever. But it's got that awesome bond of like, respect. I've seen that myself. Another thing you mentioned there, though, that's worth mentioning, obviously, the people you surround yourself with. And this is an important lesson for other fighters as well. Like success, breeds success. You've got to have good people around you, type of thing. Let's give a shout out to a few of those individuals, if that's all right with you, like this team that you train with, and you've stuck with them.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, like I say, it's I've got guy Scott from Power X. Obviously, he's a top guy. The gym actual sponsor me, you know. So it's like I like to give up. Well, shout to a few of my sponsors. To be fair, I just ended up. That's right. That's right. Ended up writing them down. but yeah, we've got Scott Dawson from Power X Fitness, number one. Do you know what I mean? Around Doncaster, super gym man. Everyone around there, out to help anybody that comes down who wants training, anything. They've got everything you need down there. Yeah, it's like this top guys. Then we've got like Connor Lee. He's from Alpha Apparel. He sponsors me as well. Top guy. Do you know what I mean? We've got any sports supplements, anything like that, clothing. He's your man. Obviously, I mean, my other sponsors are Buster from Staffordshire Waste. He's just jumped on. Actually, I met Buster at the Bad to the Bone. He was the guy that put up the purse,
Yeah.
for the one fight. Top bloke. We got talking after that, and then he jumped on board like a direct sponsor to me. And then obviously we've got Matt Cotton from Cotton Contractors. He's from Stoke as well. Another top guy. Got introduced to him obviously through work I do. He sponsored me as well. Big shout out to you, mate. Yeah, like I say, it's like these guys. You just put good people around you. Obviously, my wife, man, it was like my missus. She does everything in this game for me. Everything I can't do, my missus does. You know what I mean? Like she runs that for me. It's like all tickets. I ain't got time to be messing about like with tickets and like promotion side of it, promoting myself. Like we out here, I'd be screwed, man. So it's like shout to wifey there. Christian Roberts, some man. You know what I mean? Some man. He like started off like the boss man. Started off just being my boss, like the guy who sorts my fights, man. He is a top bloke, genuine top man. You not me a nicer bloke. Yeah, it's like just surround yourself with good people, man. And good things happen. Negativity, and then you get bad things, man. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
That's where I carry off now. So just put yourself in a good place, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's first of all, it's great to give those people a shout out as well because obviously they're doing great work, sort of with you and everything. But then when this goes out and it's got like a wider reach, it gets them the recognition they deserve. But yeah, like who you surround yourself with as well, a very important lesson. You've got to have good people around you. So talking about a couple of other things that to touch on here as well. Obviously, it's not good to look too far ahead. So I know you've already got two fights coming up, but I'd still like to get a vibe for like what some of your other goals are, maybe pushing up
Podmore.
a little bit further towards, you know.
That Podmore. I've been watching a bit of that Podmore, man.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
he's got belts. He's got belts and everything, hasn't he? And that's the thing. It's not like it's one of them things. I just want to fight the best. Do you know what I mean? I'm at a stage where I need to know, like, everyone I'm fighting now is overseas, being flown in. Do you know what I mean? It's like, obviously he's with a different company, Podmore, but I've seen him. He's a strong guy. He can take a shot. He can give a shot. I think in future it'd be a good fight. It'd be a fucking hell of a fight. Do you know what I mean? That's probably one of the only guys I've like sort of been having a look at. As I go though, I told Christian, it don't matter who I've got to fight. He just gets guys, just puts them in front, whoever it is. That's how it's got to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
no, this is the game that we're in. So it's not like you start calling people out. I'm not on there saying, oh, fight so and so, fight so and so. But I do know that Podmore is like he's a guy who's got something that I want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the
Well,
only
cool, man. I mean, it's the thing to be the best, you've got to fight the best. And obviously, you definitely have that warrior mentality and like that genuine fight mentality, and I mean that with all the sincerity in the world. Like, you genuinely got that mindset. That's something I respect about you. Yeah, man. Podmore, funny enough, I spoke to him on his show literally a couple of weeks ago because obviously going out to Thailand and everything to fight over there. And I think you and him, that would be a cracking matchup. But we'll see where the future takes you. Either way, the future is very, very bright. I'd like to get your thoughts on advice for fighters who are starting out as well, because obviously, um, I don't know if you realize it, but you've got that inspiring quality, right? Where like you started late with obviously the amateur stuff, then you had like a bunch of pullouts with the other stuff with the bare knuckle, you pushed through, you're now world champion. There's a lot of things like where things have been stacked against you, you pushed through them and got there. I don't know if you see it that way. So with that in mind, what would you say to somebody who wants to start out in fighting and they want to get into it and they want to achieve something big, you know?
well, thing is with that, you just got to keep like you said, you just got to. It don't matter what gets thrown at you. If you're in a mindset where you just push through anything, it's like you're training as well. You just train, you just keep pushing, man. If you want something bad enough, man, you go out there and get it. Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah,
you want to perform at 120%, you go out there, you train 120%. Do you know what I mean? You put that back out. So that's it. You get out what you put in. Do you know what I mean? So, and like I say, advice to anyone else: if you want to get into this game, one, you're fucked in head anyway. Do you know what I mean? and you love a good bust up. Do you know what I mean? So you're already halfway winning. Do you know? So.
yeah,
Apart from that, it's just work ethic, man. You just work and just keep going. That goal set. Like these belts now. It's like I've got these belts. I don't plan on letting them go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? It'd be an hard job for anyone to get these belts off me. Like I say, and if they can take these belts off me, I'm more than happily shake any man's hand. Because they're gonna have to work to get me belts. So that's just it.
yeah,
And like you look at other people like who are coming up and fighting now, just like top fighters for me, like a little guy from Spartan, Nathan Dixon, is absolute machine. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's guys out now that are coming up. These are young lads as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm starting to knock on now. I've not got that long left fighting, but these are going to be guys to watch. So if anybody wants to get into it, like I say, you've got to have that drive, man. And you just keep plodding on. You get where you want to be one day.
yeah.
So
I love it, man. I love the message. Like you've probably seen before. I always love to put like a little bit of motivation in these interviews type of thing for people
yeah,
as well. So that's always good. So brilliant. And we've got to give another shout out as well, specifically to your fans and like the people who come to watch you fight. Because we mentioned like the sponsors and stuff. But in terms of like just the people who are attending and coming along and supporting you in that way, or people who are supporting you on social media, obviously you're a busy man and you're working and everything. But let's give them a little bit of a mention as well in terms of
It's,
what they
it's
mean to
funny.
you.
It's funny you mention that as well because it's a big shock. Like you'd expect a lot more people from like local to follow you, which a lot of people do from local. But since I've been fighting, man, I've got like people from way out. You know what I mean? Like people I've met on circuit, like who are coming, like they religiously come to every fights. I met some really good friends. Neil McAdam, his son fought on spun at Spartan shows. He's going to be an absolute monster. I don't know whether he's fighting bare knuckle anymore, but no matter what he does, that kid's going to be an absolute machine. You know, it's like, so it's a further range of people now who are following me. Well, you wouldn't expect, you know, like my tickets come and they're all gone. Boom. Do you know what I mean? They're straight out. So it's like, it's a good thing, but shout out to everyone, man. 100% respect to everyone who comes to all my fights. You know what I mean? They've all got my back. Got good support, man. Good support.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing. Well, you know what? I mean, we've talked about some good stuff today. We've touched on the past, we've touched on the future, and you know, we touched on like the physical training and mental training. So you know what I mean? It's a nice mix of stuff, which I always like to try and do. So I think we're looking pretty good. Anything else that you'd like to mention at all? If people want to get tickets for your upcoming fights, I'm guessing they just message you and all that.
Yeah, just message on Facebook. Wife will deal with that. So you should get all tickets out there. But yeah, it's yeah. Anyone who wants tickets, wants to come to any of the shows, like I say, just get on me on Andrew Tony Anthony on Facebook. Add me up. You can go through tickets through Spartan. So obviously, Anks has got Banter Bone. Yeah, so anybody wants tickets, jump on board with that. And obviously, to you, mate, big thanks to you. I've been wanting to, you know, I can see all the interviews you do. You're top man. Do you know what I mean? You get good interviews out of you as well, mate. What you're doing is good, man. So it's like I say, it's a pleasure to have been able to have this interview with you, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's been way too long. So,
Well, thank you, man. I honestly, I really appreciate that, top man, and big respect to you as well. I wanted to do it as well for the longest time, and then I know obviously, end of last year we were trying to match up dates and everything, but the fact we finally got there now, yeah, over the moon with it. And you know what, like I've said to a few people lately, but I'm definitely going to say to you as well. When you've got more belts and you know a few more fights down the line, we'll do another one of these and we'll update people on like what's been happening because I know you're saying, you know, you haven't got long left fighting and things like that, but I can see you getting at least, you know, another couple of belts or something like that before.
oh yeah, definitely. I'm not done yet, mate. There's a bit more in tank left yet. Do you know what I mean? I'll be about for a bit. But I've got a wedding to plan, man. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I say, I've a couple more years for me now, man, and then I'll be done. But I've got a bit left. It's more to come from a Spartan yet, mate.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I say, we'll update the fans on that one and the other fighters when that's happened. But for now, looking forward to getting this one out there. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening, mate, and thank you for showing us the belts. And again, you know, sometimes I say to people, but thank you for being an open book as well. I mean, that's the main thing, isn't it? You know, we've talked about like all through your life, so it's been awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel and there'll be more videos coming soon.